Corner. Can we recreate WrestleMania 16? I know it's WrestleMania 2000, but for today on Recreate It, it's WrestleMania 16. And of course, before we begin, a few facts. The event took place on April 2nd of 2000 from the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim, from Anaheim, California. The attendance was 19,776. 47 wrestlers participated at this event. A few rules. I only review matches that made TV in the pay-per-view, not counting Sunday Night Heat. We will, of course, compare the accuracy and the completion of the whole pay-per-view. We will not be counting managers, custom figures, it has to be mass-marketed, retail released, that kind of stuff. So McMahon's will not be included in the actual match. They're more of a manager in every corner, but they weren't actually a part of the match. They weren't officially wrestlers in the match. Now, of course, we kick off the show with Bull Buchanan and Big Boss Man versus The Godfather and D'Lo Brown. It's not accurate. D'Lo never got the pimpin' attire. They came out with white and black. It was a really cool looking attire. I think Godfather had like a silver shiny shirt. It was a cool looking attire, cool little tag team kind of thing. But at this point, this was around D'Lo's starting to be his decline. Bull Buchanan, Big Boss Man. Well, we have Boss Man right there, but they've never made Bull Buchanan other than his Truth Commission days as Recon. So then the 15-minute time limit battle royal. Normally I don't put all the names of the people, but I just for some reason decided to do that because I realized there was people missing from it. You can't recreate it, which is why we got the green X there. It's not even accurate. They've never made the Acolytes in their wrestling attire. I mean, they made Bradshaw here, but they never made Farouk in that attire. You got Viscera, you got Taz, which is pretty accurate. Hardcore Holly, Crash, Funaki was more in his, I want to say a singlet look. Taka was also, in his attire. Headbangers, Monster and Thrasher, they're going to be in anything with a skirt and a shirt, so it works for them. But there were people obviously missing. No Rodney figure ever made. No Abs. No Pete Gas. So right there, there's three people that all part of the same faction, the Mean Street Posse, but never got an action figure. Then on to the third match, TNA, Test and Albert versus Al Snow and Steve Blackman. And again, not accurate. Albert's pretty close. Test, he does have ones without shirts and whatnot. Al Snow, it's in blue with the snowman tights, whereas here you see it's black. Steve Blackman. So really, had this been more of a black color, which I couldn't find, I thought they made a variant Al Snow. They didn't. I guess if I said, well, the color doesn't really matter, but it kind of does matter. If it had been black, maybe a little bit decal missing, I could accept that. Clear this from his blue attire, which he did have this when he was like European champion. One of the times he won it. It was always a cool attire. I always thought, man, it'd be cool if Mattel would knock out a flashback of Al Snow in that kind of look, that Attitude Era. Right now I know they're doing Ultimates and New Gen Era. It seems like that's what we're going for. Hopefully in the next 5 years or so they do Ultimates in the Attitude Era and they start knocking out some of those kind of people. I'm not saying he needs an Ultimate, but I'm saying an Elite would be kind of cool. And then on to the match 4, which is the Triple Threat Tag Team Ladder match, later on known to become TLC basically, but officially it was not called TLC during this pay-per-view. It is accurate. There's Edge. The color's a little off on the Edge and the Christian a little bit, but you can see it's there. Those are pretty much the attires from that show. Hardy's, there is a 2-pack out there, but last I checked, they were kind of wearing just shirts and jeans. I think Jeff did remove his at one point. You know, you can get a TTL that has more of the rainbow colored hair. Um, is it always accurate? No, it's not going to be 100% accurate. And the Dudleys, of course, they got the blue and the gray camo, so it is pretty accurate. You can easily find Hardys though that would match that. I know Mattel's been knocking some out from his earlier years. Jeff Hardy, anyway. Matt is on a different show. So and same with Christian. So unless they come back and sign legend deals, I just don't ever see them really getting another chance. But this is the closest you're going to get. Then, of course, our next match to the Void is the Cat versus Terry Reynolds. As you can see, Marlena, Terry Reynolds, that's her only ever figure made. It was in the Goldust statue figure. It is a statue. You can maybe move the arm up and down or something like that. And Cat never got a figure. And I don't know if she ever will. And then you've got match 6, Too Cool, Grandma Sexy and Sky Hardy in China. I always felt like if they'd had the rights, Mattel to Grandmaster Sexy, they would have made him and Scotty in this attire more than that weird camo yellow we got for Scotty. I feel like this was more iconic. This was like the peak of their popularity. Of course, they were they were partnered with Rikishi at this time. Rikishi in a separate match though, for obvious reasons. And then of course China. That's as close as we're going to get to that China currently. We might be getting more Chinas down the road since Mattel is popping out a few of them. And as far as the Radicals, it sucks. There's no other Perry Saturn. It's like there's only WCW Perry Saturn, but this is as close as we're gonna get. Not the right attire, no knee pads. I mean, obviously you can add knee pads. Tattoos are there. Dean, he's now on it again for AEW, so don't expect anything for him to pop up. They might do a luminary of him maybe one day or something like that, but I doubt they're gonna go for an attire from his WWE run. They might go WCW look, if anything. And then Eddie, as you can see, it's like a purple. He didn't have a shirt. I found the Latino Heat figure. They don't really have anything that represents this era. They have some WCW Eddies, but they don't really have too many WWF Eddie Guerreros. They have his WrestleMania 17, which we'll find in the next recreated video. But this is pretty as best we're going to get, and it's not accurate. Then on to the 7th match, and you're going, well, wait a minute, that looks like that's accurate. But no, Jericho, it's squiggly lines. I mean, he has more of a thunder pattern here. Never got this figure, or never got this attire in figure form. To my knowledge, I've scoured through, I couldn't find anything. The Benoit was, I did find that. That's pretty close. Of course, there's probably some missing crippler rips or whatever it is. But again, that's just paint decal. Deco, they probably couldn't afford to add all that extra stuff in there. And that's kind of Kurt's debut attire. You can see he's wearing red knee pads. There's blue knee pads. I do believe there's USA on the back. It is fairly accurate, but it's mismatched. He's got red knee elbow pads, but blue knee pads here, so it's not accurate. Then on to the 8th match. You'll notice that pretty much the only singles match was a Terry versus Terry Reynolds versus the Cat. Everything else was like tag team or fatal 4-way this or that. It was a very interesting night. Way to get a lot of people on the card. Rikishi and Kane versus DX, Road Dogg and X-Pac. And I put down it was accurate. I mean, there's the inverse Kane colors. Rikishi has got the yellow inside the slash, so that's pretty cool. X-Pac is very accurate. The colors might not be the proper green, but that could just be paint app. The company doesn't have that green color. Road Dogg, he's wearing a DX shirt more or less. His sides aren't proper, but it ultimately is that attire. The kick pads are the proper ones. Everything else is pretty accurate. The hairstyle, all that kind of stuff. So I count it as accurate. I mean, obviously, if you wanted exactly that DX shirt, I think it's coming out with a possible X-Pac figure. You can throw it on there. You can always change the shirt if you need to. And then the main event is not accurate. I mean, we do have the Big Show. I think it's a nasty bat, but they're not going to put that word on an action figure for toys. So, but he's definitely in that more attire. The Rock Legends 3 is from that match. As you see, it's gold. He's got the gold on. The Ultimate Triple H is silver, and I think that's what that's based off of. But the only reason it's not accurate is we got no Mick Foley with the green flannel. I couldn't find one. Mattel has not made one. We got Cactus Jack with the red flannel. We got, Mick Foley with the red flannel from the, you easily say it's him, but as far as an actual Mick Foley figure, the only one I could really find other than his Stephanie McMahon GM 2-pack was the Titantron Live Commissioner Mick Foley. So for that reason, it's not accurate. And again, I didn't count McMahon every corner because, as you know, Linda will not let a figure be made of her. You've got Stephanie, Shane, and Vince. We've had Jax try to attempt it. We had Mattel show off, I think, one, but it never comes to be. She vetoes it, and that's the end of it. So it's stats. You can't recreate this WrestleMania either. Unfortunately, a lot of these Attitude Era WrestleManias, they're missing people like the Cat, Joey Abs, Pete Gas, Rodney. But we can recreate 77% of it. If you're going to want to recreate even 77% of it, though, you probably have to go Jax has 42 figures. Mattel has 27 figures, so you could substitute some for the, here and there. Like I said, Jax made Bob Holly and made Al Snow. Mattel has not tackled those two. So you're going to have to get some Jax no matter what. It is probably one of our lowest accurate WrestleManias. I have to go back to the history and whatnot, but at 22%, this WrestleMania accuracy is just abysmal. It's not even a quarter. And as always, I want to thank you for watching. Ring the bell, subscribe. If you're liking that I'm putting a little bit more emphasis into it, not just kind of running through it real fast. These are WrestleManias I do remember as a child. I do remember ordering this one. It was, I thought they came on at 8 o'clock. I convinced my stepdad to point it to $50 to get it. As we were ordering it, it turned on between The Rock and Triple H near the end, so they sent me to my room, so I didn't get to see who won that match. And then they said he'd call me back out when the actual pay-per-view restarted. So, unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize it started at 4 o'clock. I told them it started at 8. So they made me go in my room. Him and his buddies cracked open a beer, watched the rest of the match, and then they called me back out to watch the whole thing. And it was over at like midnight. And they're like, "All right, get your ass to bed." But that was really cool they did that. You didn't have to do that. Back then, $50 was a lot of money looking back. But I mean, I do remember these WrestleManias. I do remember the table spots and the craziness. So I will try to add more personality to those. When I started this thing in the beginning, I wasn't alive for some of the WrestleManias. I was barely 5 by the time WrestleMania 6 came around. But now I can remember these ones, and as I go along, I'll have more vivid details of how I was able to watch these WrestleManias, or how I found a way to somehow watch these WrestleManias, and how sometimes I just missed a WrestleMania. So, but check back again soon for Recreated WrestleMania 17 edition. We're only a few more away from another custom figure appreciation. So again, if you want to see more, or if you want to see, your figure, your hard work, or whatever it is, you ain't got to send me the figure. I'm not saying give me the figure to do that. No, send me photos of it. I just need a front, a back, a side to side, maybe a close-up of the decal, or whatever it is, if you're really proud of something on it. And if you're trying to sell it, or if you're trying to get people to notice you and maybe buy stuff from you, then tell me who made it, or if you made it, give me your details, what you charge for it, or what you're hoping to get for it. And who knows, maybe enough people see this and it'll help you out. As always, check back again for WrestleMania 17 edition, considered the best WrestleMania in the history of WrestleMania. Let's see how accurate it is, and we'll find out next time.